Amy, are you on? Uh-oh.
Lindsay.
Lindsay. Where are you?
This could be John for a little bit. Sorry.
They know who they are, though. I mean, really. It just was so judgmental. Okay, Laura, would you like to begin with your opening statement?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So much for the need for an icebreaker. So my name is Laura Watson. I'm running for judge in County Court at Law number 3. As many of you know, this is a family specialization court, which also encompasses the child welfare docket. I am board certified in family law, which makes me more than qualified to be able to manage this court. Now, there are a lot of factors and a lot of things that you're going to be hearing about this court and the qualifications of each candidate. I am here to tell you that I think it is important that we ensure to provide access to this court to the individuals and the constituents within our county. It is important to be able to make it efficient so that way people can get through their cases and have closure. And I believe it's important to have efficiency or fairness and consistency in the application of the law as it is applied to the different types of cases, whether it be CPS or family court. I'll bring out more information because I'm down to 5 seconds. So I'm Laura Watson. Thank you very much.
Judge Tucker. Oh, isn't that a lovely sound?
Hi, I'm Judge Amy Tucker. Thank you so much for coming out. And I am currently the judge for County Court at Law 3. I've been a judge for this court for a little over 9 years. I was the associate judge for 8.5 years until I was appointed by the commissioners as the presiding judge on July 1st. This is one of our 3 family courts, and it is the designated child protection court. I spearheaded the efforts to create the child protection court in County Court at Law 3, which means we handle all of the court cases for all of the foster children in the county. I'm actually double board certified in child welfare law and family law, and I'm one of the few attorneys in the state of Texas who can say that. I'm devoted to this docket. It is a priority for us, and I also have an associate judge who brings 27 years of family law experience and has been board certified for 15 years as well. And I'm asking you to keep me in this position because I think that both myself and my associate judge are bringing the highest level of expertise to this specialty court. Thank you so much.
Okay, now, you may have to word this question differently because I had a hard time wording, without violating anyone's privacy or breaking any laws, and being as specific as you can, discuss one case in which you were involved where you felt you were most able to affect a family's life.
Okay.
Do you understand the question?
Yes, ma'am, I do. There was a case that occurred probably about 12 years ago where I was there to serve as the voice of children. There were 8 children in that case. There was physical, emotional, and mental abuse going on in that home. Those children had been raised in very much a cult-like mentality. If you tell, you're punished. If your brother or sister tells, they get punished. If you tell, they find out you told, and they don't tell, they get punished. They were made examples of, each child, in front of the remainder of the children if they didn't follow the rules. To the point of one child, as an example, took some jelly beans that were on a counter. The mom decided that was stealing. She lined up the other 7 children, shoved jelly beans down that throat until that child became asphyxiated. When you're dealing with cases like that, and you're there to serve as the voice of those kids, it takes time, it takes experience, it takes the opportunity to get those children to trust you enough to tell. It took me almost a year to get those kids to tell. They had been in therapy for 1.5 years. When little things would come out, they would get punished and whipped with glue sticks because even by mom's own admission and testimony, it bruises on the inside and not the outside. So no one would see the abuse. When you have a case like that, and I'm able to go to get those kids to trust me and tell me so we could save those children and get those children out of that home, that is a huge impact, and I'm very proud of that. To this day, I still get Christmas cards and graduation announcements, and we're down to only 2 left in the system. Everybody else is married, moved on, and gone to college. And I will tell you, without naming that judge was phenomenal in this case. That's my experience.
Okay.
All right, it's really hard to pick just one. And when, as an attorney, as a judge, I've probably been involved with almost 3,000 foster children. It's a lot of kids. I can tell you overall, what has brought me the most fulfillment is seeing these children, and these children have been traumatized in ways you can only imagine. We have kids with traumatic brain injuries. We have children who have chronic health issues from the abuse and neglect they've suffered in their homes. We have children who've been starved and they don't even know how to eat properly. We have a lot of children who are autistic, have learning disabilities, and when they come into care, they are sad and hopeless. And when I see over the course of a year the change in those children, it's miraculous. And it demonstrates to me that even us in the court system can make a real difference for these children. Now, if I want to just talk about one memorable case as an attorney, I did have a case when I think I wasn't even 30 yet, when I started with the county attorney's office representing Child Protective Services. And an 11-year-old boy got on the stand and testified against his stepfather, who had beaten him regularly for about 5 years. It was probably the biggest act of bravery I've ever seen in my life. And he was terrified, but he did it with courage and grace. And I will probably never forget that kid. And in case you're wondering, he went on to be adopted by an amazing family. So it's the stories like those that I feel demonstrate how important this court is, how important it is that we have a place for all of these foster children, and we have a designated court that is devoted to giving them a place of priority and having judges who have the highest level of expertise. Thank you.
And you sort of, and Judge Tucker, you sort of spoke about this earlier, about the specific skills, knowledge, and experience that you bring to the table, but what do you think makes you the most qualified as far as your experience is concerned?
Well, I believe that with respect to the family docket, I am board certified in family law, and I have been practicing in the courtroom family law for over 20 years. I've lived in a courtroom. I've tried hundreds of cases, and I've had lots of jury trials. I've done appellate work, and with the child protection docket, I mean, it's hard to say this, but I'm really one of the top experts in the state. And it's really probably in large part because there's not a lot of licensed attorneys who devote their entire career to this area of the law. It's very difficult, it's complex, it's technical, and it can be very frustrating. So I think that with my combined litigation experience as an attorney and my 9.5 years as a judge, I don't think there are very many licensed attorneys in the state or in the country who have my experience and background and passion. And I think most importantly, I'm the first judge in the history of this county, and probably one of few, if any, in the state who have specifically asked for these cases. No one else has ever done that. I've said, I want these cases, please give them to me. I know I can do better. And I have a vision for this court, and I'm committed to making it one of the very best courts in the country. Thank you.
I believe my experience and what I have done within the community is what makes me the most qualified person for this job. I have owned my own law practice for the last 15 years in this county, specifically right here in Conroe. I've worked in corporate America for 12 years prior to jumping off and having an early midlife crisis and going to law school at age 32. Please don't do the math. In the process of practicing for the last 18 years, I have focused my true passion and love on serving the voice of the children, focused on keeping them out of the middle. I'm the only candidate who has worked in the private sector doing that, just that, having hundreds of stories just like I just shared with you. I'm the only candidate that has any managerial experience. In my background in accounting, manage hundreds of employees, multi-million-dollar contracts. This is a business. This is what a court is. The budget is your tax dollars. With regards to this court, yes, it is incorporated the child welfare docket. What we need to understand is at one point these cases did have a home. Now that it's been incorporated in this docket, we have to understand what that looks like to the average person walking into that courtroom. The CPS docket, which is 80% of this court, runs approximately 150 cases. The family docket, which is only 20% of the family law cases in our ever-growing county, is roughly 3,300 cases. Our biggest concern is we have our growing community that is exponential. We have cases that need to be heard and need to be closed. Our families cannot heal until they get out of litigation. You have to be able to understand what that looks like. You have to have been in the trenches to hold those people's hands, to help hug those babies when it is time to either say, Mommy's got to go or you have to go, but we still love you and everything's going to be okay. We can talk about it, you have to do it.
Okay. Go ahead and do
Yes, ma'am.
your closing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. First off and foremost, thank you very much to the Montgomery County Republican Women for having us here tonight. This is a beautiful setup and a forum, and you all have been very gracious in allowing us to be here. Secondly, I believe it is important that you understand exactly what your candidates have to offer. When you are standing up and saying, please elect me as your judge, you're asking to be a servant to the community. I have served in this community for the last 12 years, serving on civic board organizations like the Conroe New Lions Club. I have been the bar president for the Montgomery County Bar Association. I've volunteered for various organizations like the Montgomery. I'm Laura Watson, and I'm running for judge for County Court at Law 3, and I am asking for your vote. Thank you.
Oh, I start and then you do that. Okay. So I believe strongly that I have the experience and the background and most importantly the passion to continue to do this job. We are doing something with County Court at Law 3 that is unprecedented. And my unequivocal goal is to create the best child protection court in the country. And I'm not just talking about it. I'm taking steps to get there. By the end of April, my associate judge and I are going to be 2 of 17 judges in the country who are trained and certified in TBRI. Google it. It's the most widely accepted methodology for trauma-informed care. It will teach us how to make decisions to give these foster children the best chance at healing. And I think that quite possibly we will be the only court in the country that has not 1 but 2 judges who are certified in that. It's groundbreaking, and I'm asking you to give us a chance to make a difference. Thank you so much.
And anyone that is involved in the family law system or the CPS system, surely you understand and recognize that right now our system is broken. Our foster care system is broken. And in order to be able to manage this and look forward, we have to be able to look outside the box of what we have always done. Because what we have always done is clearly not working. We have lost 2,200 beds in the state of Texas for these children just in the last year alone. We have more children that are in CWAP, which means children without placement, just in the last year alone. Our reunification of kids with their families is one of the lowest rates in the state of Texas, running at about 70%. Not placement of children, reunification of children with families, which should be our #1 goal. We have to find a way to rebuild the system, ask the state for help, get with the legislator, and make some changes. Thank you.
Our next group. Oh, do you want to do a rebuttal? I didn't see if you picked up a card.
Yes, just very quickly. And I would just say very quickly, I am the change. I'm the person who stepped up to the plate and said, put me in, coach, I'm ready. And we are making a difference. And you don't take my word for it. Ask the commissioners who appointed me. Ask my fellow judges who agree that this should be the court. Ask all of the attorneys who practice in that court. Ask all of the CASA advocates and ask them about the difference that the decision I made to take this court has made for these children. And I think they will tell you it's been huge. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Next will be